Should you outsource your records to our records management centers? If you work in the energy industry, you know that your records play a crucial role in the day-to-day success of your company. But managing records isn't a core competency for you, nor should it be. That's why more and more energy companies are leaving their records management to us. We talked to TAB records management experts Joel McNichol and Verna Peterson to find out more. What are the advantages of outsourcing your records to TAB?
So the reason companies should outsource to TAB, number one reason would be our knowledge workers. We understand what's inside the file, the content of the file, more than just putting pretty files on a shelf. We actually know what every piece of paper in there means, why they're critical to the client, to the oil and gas industry.
Well, an example of this would be, for instance, if they're trying to find information around a location for a well site. We can find the surface lease information. We can find technical drawings about that facility that's on that site. So maybe there are some restrictions to a contract, a surface land contract or agreement that we need to know as well, or that they'll need to know, so we can access all of this information at one time. So if they need technical drawings to land information to regulatory information for that site, we can include all of that in one shot.
Information control and integrity are big concerns when it comes to outsourcing. How does TAB handle that?
Maintaining the integrity of those records, we send a record out in the state that it should go out. We make sure all the information that is in that record is intact. It's the information that is required of them. When that information goes off-site, we're tracking where it goes to whom, so that we know the history behind that. So if there is ever a piece missing, we can trace back to where that might be. When the record returns back to our center, we go through the same steps to ensure that that information is replaced back onto the shelf in the same format that it went out in. So therefore, we are maintaining always the integrity of that record. Having knowledge workers comes back into play again. In order to maintain that integrity, the people that work in this environment need to know what they're working with and how the end users will need that information.
Can you describe how clients access records in your facilities?
A huge advantage to outsourcing records is 24-hour access. We have access to these records 24/7, again with knowledge workers. So if an incident comes up where we do need to access something in the middle of the night because of an emergency or a potential disaster, we have availability to that information 24/7.
Yeah, and they can get that within 1 hour, and it will still be delivered in a secure manner, just the way we would do during the day. Or we can just come here, pull the file, and because it is a knowledge worker, get you that information without having to even meet you or send anything off to you.
And again, this is so there's no disruption of flow of work. So that's the idea, is to be able to, these wells are running 24 hours, so the access to that information needs to be running 24 hours.
Energy companies often have special records projects that are ongoing. Do TAB record centers create an advantage in those situations?
Being here in the space we have, it's much more advantage than downtown, because they can send up groups of people up here if they're working on special projects. They can come in, we make special arrangements for them, set up special rooms for them so that they can pull their files and work on a project here in a lot of space, whereas downtown you can't bring 20 people on site just like that, and we can.
What security measures do you have in place at your facilities?
Well, here at TAB, security is the number one priority. We have secure environments for every client that's on site. You have to have card access to get in. The workers that work in one environment can't go over to the next environment, so there's no concern about that. Nobody can come into the building without being on an approved list. You have to have an actual business reason to being on site if you don't work in the facility. You can't get in the doors. There's monitors. You ring a doorbell. We'll let you in the first area. If you're not a regular worker, we'll come and greet you, see what your business is here. And if you're still not on the list, we can actually turn you away.
What, if any, disaster recovery benefits are there to outsourcing?
If your records are up here, your offices are downtown, the safety of your records up here are probably better handled than if they were downtown. You don't have all your eggs all in one basket. The chances that something can happen up here and downtown it would be a catastrophe, but the chances are pretty slim. Whereas this way, if something were to happen to those offices downtown, they could start up their business the next day because we have their critical records.
If you'd like to learn about outsourcing your records to one of our record centers, click the Contact Us link below the video.